Well, good evening guys. It is Friday the 17th of August today. You have to excuse me, keep looking down here, my rods are in the water and one of them's on worm and it's getting absolutely smashed. But I'll come on to that in a minute. This is a swim that Anastasia and I caught plenty of barbel from last year, and we fished this one quite a lot because, to be honest with you, there's not that many pegs down this stretch, quite a long stretch. But there's probably only a really nice sort of, you know, what I would consider fishable peg. And by that I don't mean comfortable. You'll see I'm sat on the ground, you know, it's just a step cut into the soil. But what I mean is, you know, where the reeds are clear and you can get to the river properly. And there's only one maybe every 50 metres or 100 metres even, you know. So there's not that many down here. And there's big gaps as well, which you can't really get to unless you come down here sort of clearing stuff. There's no platforms like there is on the other side, but there's very rarely anyone fishes the other side that I see. Anyway, I'm waffling. So what I've done is I've come perhaps 300 metres down from the weir, 200 metres, something along those lines. That was not the plan. I know it's not good to make plans before you go fishing, but I tend to sort of know this stretch quite well, and I tend to have an idea of what I want to do. And we're doing really well in that run just below the weir, which was again the last video, the 3 chub after it got dark. You know, the place was going crazy, it was brilliant. However, I think I mentioned in that video at the end that there was noise and a big splash over there, so some fish down here, that's for sure. I think I mentioned in that video at the end that there was some noise going on. I didn't go into any details, but basically what happened, those of you who follow me on Facebook will know that what had happened is that there's perhaps, I don't know, it's probably only 200 metres from the river, just up on the road, maybe 150 metres, something like that. There's what is apparently a sewage pump house. It's like a brick shed effectively. And it's, I don't know, maybe 10 foot square or something, and it's just on a little track that leads down to the river. Anyway, missed it, but he's had me worm. So what happened was, came down last weekend, last Friday, last Saturday, I can't remember, and came for a walk, feed the ducks with the kids. Water everywhere, hasn't rained, or it had, but everywhere else had dried up. Horrible stink. Turns out it's a sewage leak. It's running straight into the marina here, with a fairly reasonable flow. The guys from Severn Trent were here, they were sorting it out, brilliant. So when I did that video on last Sunday, it was still going on. They were just sort of finishing off. I think they pretty much got it under control by then. We're not talking, you know, big turds floating down the river or anything. It was like, it looked like water, to be honest, but it stank. It looked quite clear, but it was really smelt. You could tell there was some kind of sewage in it. Anyway, they got it under control. I phoned the EA just to make sure they knew, which they didn't. So they sent a guy out to come and find out what was going on. Anyway, all this is bringing me on to the fact that tonight I was going to fish that same peg again. Now when I was fishing that peg on Sunday, there was a couple of guys from Severn Trent just behind me, and I had a look and I never really noticed it before, but just 3 metres from the bank there's a huge massive metal manhole cover effectively, which actually got 4 on it. It's probably 6 foot long, 4 foot wide, and they had that off and they were messing about. There's all pipes in the bottom. It's probably 5 or 6 foot deep. I mean, some of you guys out there might know what it was, but there was all pipes in it anyway. It's obviously something to do with sewage, but why it's right down here I don't know, near the river. Anyway, that's just behind that swim, and I had a quick chat to them and said, you know, what's going on, and they were all a bit cagey, and I thought, oh yeah, it's nice enough blokes, and I had a look down and they got this thing off. Anyway, I've just come down to fish. Well, it was probably about 45 minutes ago now. I went to that peg up there, looked at that manhole cover, and there's all water coming out the top of it. And I can see where it's all running into the river. There's a trickle of it going down the bank. It has been worse, but it's sort of eased off, and there's a trickle of it running down into the river, and it stinks. So it's obviously leaking again. So I've been on the phone to Severn Trent for the last 20 minutes trying to get them out. Reported the incident. To be fair, you know, there's someone there. It's Friday night at whatever time, I guess they have to, but there's someone there, and she sorted it out and said she'll get someone there. She reported an incident and they'll be here within a couple of hours. Anyway, that's all the background to the reason that I'm in here, because firstly I can actually see where that is. It's about 200 metres away up there, so I can see whether they turn up or not. Secondly, I could have fished up there. I could have fished just above it, but there only is a little bit just above it before the water ends and it goes into the lock. But I was upwind of it and it absolutely stank, to be honest. So I didn't fancy that much, and I could have fished just below it, which is where that peg is, just only a few metres below it, but obviously, you know, that's not great with sewage running in the water. So that's the reason I've come down here. There's a lot of fish jumping out here. I'd imagine it's predators hassling the little fish, maybe chub on the top perhaps. But anyway, that's the reason I came. I thought I could perhaps go above the lot or even try fishing in the weir, but it is very difficult here with all the boulders and stuff. You lose lots of gear, don't tend to bother. I could fish just above the weir, but I hadn't prepped it, I hadn't put any bait in, and the boat will be along with all the restaurant people on it, and there'll be drunk people around me, and that'll be doing my head in. So I thought, I know, I'll walk down the field, and also I can't see that from here, so I thought I'll walk down the field, sit in the old peg. This is the first peg I fished this season as well. I had that nice bream from it, and I know it's a decent peg. So as the weather has cooled off, there's going to be more oxygen in the water because of the cooler weather. And as I say, the weir's only just up there. It's rained yesterday, which I think's prompted this leak again. It chucked it down all yesterday night and morning. The river's up probably another 4 or 5 inches, I would say. It spurred the fish on, certainly. I'm getting lots of knocks and taps. And what I'm going to do is get this one rod back in. The idea was, what I wanted to do, you see, was come and try and catch a perch at dusk. Try and catch a nice perch just on worm, ledgering some worm with maggot feeder again, same as last week. So I'm still going to do that, but I'm going to do it in here, although I'm not sure how long I'm going to do it for, because it's just getting smashed to pieces, to be honest. But we'll have a go anyway. It's starting to get dark now. It's getting on for 8. And the other rod I've got just on a cheesy garlic pellet for now. I think as it gets dark, as and when it gets dark, I'll put both rods more geared towards chub and barbel. I'd love to have a barbel. I'd love to have a nice perch as well, but nice chub will do me as well. To be honest, I'm not fussy. So I'm going to get this rod back in. I've just got my standard barbel rods running setup, running ledger setup as I've described before, just free running. I've actually got, if I can get out of the way, you'll see I've got the those magnetic butt rests I made last year, just there. I've just got a magnet tucked into the bottom of the cap on the end of the rod there, and it just clunks into place. It's fantastic. No, I'm not going to lose the rods with that on. Brilliant. I can put the bait runners on as well if I want, but there's no shift in that, but they do lift off, so I can strike. And I made some nice tidy ones after the prototypes worked last year, so I'm very happy with that. So that's great. It's not going to go anywhere. It's nice and solid with the 2 bank sticks on the buzz bars, so that's brilliant. Everything's locked down great. So I know, as I say, the rods are not going to go in. What I do use as well, you've probably noticed on my videos, at the front there I've got one of these guru rests. God, there's another fish there. There's plenty of fish around anyway. One of these long guru rests you can see there. It's perfect length, perhaps 20 centimeters, something like that, as these buzz bars on the back. It's just exactly the same width. So I put 2 rods on there, and it's got these nice things that you can adjust and turn around to whatever angle you want. I do find it really useful for fishing 2 rods, and obviously have this one up, stop the rod flying off that way. So we're all locked down lovely, but because we are chub fishing as well and perch fishing, I can actually strike, which is a great advantage of having these magnets on the back of here. So anyway, time for a recast. I'll stop talking, and hopefully, oh I missed it. Can you believe it? After all that, I had a big pull round on the cheesy garlic pellet, missed that. So that's great. I've got 2 rods out of the water. I've missed 2 bites. Brilliant. Right, if we don't catch something tonight, I'm going to put my rods on eBay tomorrow. I'm running in the river. Okay. Lovely job. Alright, cheers mate. Thanks. Thanks. Bye. Bye. Well, there you go guys. That's 7 Trent ringing me back. Somebody will be here within the hour. So, I mean they did say they would anyway when I rang earlier, but that's good news. And you know, again, another reason I don't want to fish up there, because they're going to turn up, it's going to be dark, they're going to have torches on and making a racket, and it's not going to be very conducive to catching some fish. So I'm down here and I can see that they do turn up anyway. Brilliant. Lovely job.
All right.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye. Ooh, I think this is a bubble. Wow. Sorry guys, he's trying to get under my feet here. Well, can you believe it? It's come off. Crazy. It was actually, believe it or not, bearing in mind we are, as I say, 200 metres from the weir, it was a tench. I saw it. I thought it was fighting strange, but we're getting a current down together. It just got me straight in these reeds down here. I thought it was a very strange. I've been wanting to catch tench for ages and the bloody thing fell off. Can you believe it? Never mind, that's great. Brilliant. It wasn't huge either. It was probably, I saw it, I mean, it came to the top. There's fish jumping over here. Came to the top, it was £3, something like that. Puh. But I'd rather landed it than not, but never mind, at least I saw it and at least I saw what it was. God, what a scrap. I thought it was a bit strange the bob had gone in there, and I knew it's too powerful for a chub. Brilliant. Oh well. Perhaps I'm going to put my gear on eBay. It's getting on a bit now. It's starting to get quite dark. It's 8:35 at the moment. I say there's a lot of topping going on over here. But there's a lot of small fish scattering as well earlier, which tells me obviously it's predators, but I'm sure this is chub. I do remember back in the autumn this happening quite a lot, and I couldn't get any bites, and I cast over there and I had one. So I'm going to keep fishing on the area I fed at the moment, just on the crease on the edge of this current here, and there's obviously some fish down there, some tench anyway. Going there. Hey. Well, I haven't got to sell my gear. If I'm not mistaken, looks like a nice days. Oh, that's good. I changed the worms over because it wasn't really doing anything, and put some maggots on. And just while that other rod, I'd put it out of the way in the into the reeds. Just had this fella. To be honest, I'd appreciate him a bit more on a on a stick float or something, but a nice days there. Fab. Well, let's get him back. Let's try and catch something a bit bigger than this. Good news, guys. Severn Trent are here, as good as their word. Guy's just up there now in his high-vis jacket. Hopefully it's a quick sort out, and you can stop all this crap going in the river. Well, guys, I had to run up there. Severn Trent guy had gone and checked their sort of concrete overflow thing that's by the river, and he checked the other one and he was going, and I said, oi, 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 it's over here, what are you on about? I said, it's down here. It's about another 20 metres upstream. Oh, what's this then? I only do pumping stations. I said, I ain't got a clue, mate, but I know I looked in it on Sunday night, and you know, it's a 5 foot, 6 foot deep pit with all metal 6-inch pipes in the bottom of it, and I know now it's full of sewage. Oh, but to be fair, I'm a bit happier now because it's actually gone down. It's not running in the river anymore. He said he's going to get it sorted anyway. He's going to put a report in. The Environment Agency know as well. So I mean, that's all I can do really. He's been out. They're as good as their word. They've been out within an hour. So should we try and do some fishing? Might be a good idea, mightn't it? Well, guys, so I've had him rest him in the net for about 10 minutes. He's pretty lively. Hope he didn't give me a beating. Now, you have to excuse me not putting the light on, but I really thought it was a bream till it got in under my feet and then went for the bushes. But as you can see, no monster and also no bream. Lovely Warwickshire Raven chub. Fantastic. Brilliant. Really pleased with that. That's great. Absolutely mint condition as well. Now I think what I'm going to do is, I don't normally do this, but it's about 10:30 now. The Severn Trent guys have gone home. There's not a lot happening in this swim, to be honest with you. Not getting many knocks or bangs. Obviously we've had this fella, but what I'm going to do is just drop in there on the way home, just for an hour, just see how we get on. I'll see you up there. Fab. Got a nice chub. Well guys, the move certainly paid off. Just had this fella. Fantastic. Decent scrap as well. Brilliant. Ooh, very frisky. He's been resting in the net. I'm going to get him back in the water. It's about 11:15 now. We'll give it another half an hour, I should say, something like that. I'm going to get this fella back in. He's very jumpy. think we've got another one, guys. This is going crazy, absolutely crazy. I think it's a chub anyway. Whee. Well guys, this one's a little bit bigger. How's about that? Fantastic. I'll get him in. Brilliant. Really good scrap as well. Absolutely awesome. Brilliant. Well, it's only 10 minutes since I had the last one. I'm going to get this one back, see if we can't have another. It's absolutely fantastic. Well guys, we're into something. Guessing it's probably a chub, but who knows? Brilliant. Well guys, what a really strange evening. From, you know, discovering this sewage leak again, having to make all those phone calls, and somebody was wondering about it, lost a dog as well, and then I sorted out the guy from Severn Trent. I've just been up again and had a look at this sewage leak, and it has got a little bit worse again, but only a little bit. It's still not really running in the river, but the level in the field has come up again. But they're going to be here in the morning. I'm going to come in the morning and make sure they're down here, and if not, they'll get another phone call. But yeah, what a bizarre evening. I've eventually ended up, just to put you in the picture, right at the top of this stretch that my club has access to. It's a little bit further up than the peg I have been fishing, because that bit is just below where the sewage was going in the water. But unfortunately here I'm downwind of it. So I've been sat here for a couple of hours now, so hour and a half, just smelling sewage. So I really have had enough, but I'm glad I moved. You know, we've had 3 chub out of here. Got all muddy by the looks of it as well. Had 3 chub. You know, sort of sat down there with not a lot happening. So that's great. What I'm going to do is I've got this one resting up in the net. I'm going to get him out of there now. We'll have a quick look at him before I go home. Well guys, it's gone midnight. I've stayed much longer than I thought I was going to, but I've been sat here and the tip's just been twitching and twitching away. There's a lot of bats around, so I think a lot of it was liners from bats. However, some of it was definitely not. It was definitely pools. And I do like to finish on a fish, and managed to do it again today, which is fantastic. It's been resting up in the net for 5 minutes or so, and he's very lively. I'm going to try and lift him up. The Matt's here anyway. There we go. I think we've just about left the biggest one till last. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed it in the end. A few of these fellas showed up. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling, and I will see you again next time.